our reflection on faith reading is ready. So this morning we've got, actually it's more like noon, it's not really morning, but for the first thing in my day to day officially to do, these readings include culture, tradition, an action statement, and a position statement. So it's a strange way to lay it out, but it's a way to look at our faith and the interaction with culture and then a particular problem that you might be having right now. So our culture cards that we pulled up is the Three of Cups and the King of Cups. If you watch many tarot readings, you will know from watching those readings that most of the readings that people look for online, most of the things that people are really super concerned with online, it's going to involve this Three of Cups, your friends, the people you hang out with, the people that give you validation as a human being and say, hey, you're like us, you're good. We love being around you. They make you feel good about yourself. Or it's going to involve finding the king or the queen of cups, but just the king of cups. In general, that one human being that's specially meant for you. So our culture right now, I noticed as I've watched readings online that there's not a lot of readings that involve like normal life things, like you retired or just normal stuff that's not major romantic inclined, or it's not those sort of things. Social. Most of it's very much social, and it very much has to do with, do people accept me? Do they want me? Do they love me? And so these cards speak of our culture having an overemphasis on the approval of other people, an overemphasis on how important this social aspect of our life is. As I've looked at these cards and had a chance to sit with them against each other, there was a real pull towards an imbalance between spirit and those aspects of our lives. We all have to have, we're pack animals too, to a great degree. We depend on each other. We need support from one another to exist and survive. So it is big to us. It's a major deal. But it can become out of balance when your spirit life becomes compromised by this relationship with these other people, that maybe they're going in a different way as your spirit, and it's not, you've had their approval already, or their approval is incredibly important to you, or it provides your income, or all of these things that are wrapped up in the people that surround us every day. A lot of times in current culture, and particularly as I watch tarot readings online, people are willing to sell their soul just about for this right here, for either a romantic connection or for the approval of the people around them. And that is at an imbalance with our tradition card, which is the high priest. Before, what came to my mind is that before Aaron looked like this, before Aaron was a high priest, they had just come through the parting of the waves. They had just been saved dramatically, unforgettably from the Egyptians. But they had gotten to a point where they were kind of hungry. The resources were questionable. They're starting to question a lot of things. And before you know it, Moses has gone up on the mountain to get his instructions, to get the 10 Commandments. And they're under Aaron's care or his leadership. And before you know it, they've built a fatted calf. They've built the golden calf, and they're worshiping it just before you know it. So that's the power of the crowd and the power of the group. Um, and it was against the wishes of the divine and the Most High that they were to do that. And personally, I've had situations where I wanted this Three of Cups. I wanted that. I wanted the unity to work out. I wanted the family to work out. I wanted those things that society says if we don't have that, we're not whole, or we're not good enough, or you don't look like everybody else, or you're alone, poor you, all these things. But it's not worth selling out. It's not worth hearing things from the people around you and knowing, oh, my gut doesn't feel good about you just said that. I don't like where they're going with this. I'm not sure if I'm on board with this. And this is happening so many times around us right now, that people that were not extreme now are extreme. People whom you thought were moderate, they're not moderate. They're not. You can begin to feel out of place if you have a kind heart and your faith is true. I would just be careful not to sell out on a personal level your own spirituality. What is meant for us is to make right decisions. This is the king of grains. I'm sorry, the nine of grains. This is where Sheba visits Solomon. They give one another gifts. This is a proper diplomatic interaction. This is the way, this is the reciprocal way in which you and your friendships and you and your partner should interact. This is the reciprocal way it should look. There should be an equality. What you're to see in this card here is an equality of two people, that they come together with equal measure and they come together in right mind and they do what is best for them and their kingdoms. And that's what's required of us. And then under our action, how we're supposed to deal with this. There is, I'm not sure if I want to go to that next here. The reason why I think that we don't want to get rid of this, that we don't want to walk away from what we have established as this. Again, I'm going to use personal example because we do not want a broken heart. We do not want to cry about it. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saves such as be of a contrite spirit. Psalm 34:18. You don't want the broken heart. I know. You don't want the broken heart. You want it to work out. You want it to be what it was supposed to be. You don't want the broken heart. But it's not looking, though, like this. It's not looking like that. It's not looking equal. Furthermore, they may be saying things that are giving you a contrite spirit, that's making your spirit know in your heart that, hey, I know it's wrong, and this is going to break my heart to have to do this, but God saves those who have a contrite spirit. And then that's required for you to right yourself with your spirit, with your spiritual connection. It has to be of utmost importance to you. It can't be maybe kind of, a halfway sort of thing. God is able to make all grace abound towards you, that you may abound to every good work. 2 Corinthians 9:8. So this kind of does go with the action here of flow, the flow card, and the manifest card. Now, you may not be familiar with the word manifest just in a daily way. Even when it appears that I do not have a choice, I always do. Every instant is a mini lifetime, a ripple in the ocean that manifests as experience itself. And then with flow, the more I practice owning my power, the better I am at moving with the flow of life. So you do have the power, and God is able to make all grace. God's able to give you everything you need to do that thing. You do have to flow with him, and you do have to be willing to move. The flow card is about being willing to move, being willing to, and that does not mean I did want to hit this nail on the head. Regardless of what people may be saying that you disagree with, this is not a call to go start a fight with somebody. It's not going to work. So this is not a call to start a fight with somebody. This is a call to start pulling yourself back to a right balance between spirit and social. So if it requires pulling back away from this unit, whatever that unit is, and then creating a flow into manifesting right spirits in your life, a right social circle, people that actually share the beliefs that you have. And then I pulled an angel card because this reading seemed a little deep and hard and hard hitting culturally right now. This reading is hard hitting. We've seen the building of the fatted calf. We've seen that happen here. We've seen the people turn and worship that which they have created. And so this is hard hitting with our culture right now. Is, are you flowing with that fatted calf portion? Are you flowing with the golden idol portion? Or are you holding true to actual spirit? Are you listening to actual spirit? This matters in a larger sense, and it matters in your life. So it matters when each person handles this particular issue. Each person of faith comes face to face with this and says, oh, what are we doing? Who are we worshiping? Well, how is this working? Is this what we're supposed to be doing? Are we following the edicts and the advice and the scripture that we know to be true? So I pulled these angel cards because I felt like it was necessary. It said abundance mindset. If you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak as something you already have in the present moment. So, whatever these things are to you, your income, your friends, your family, your life, speak into the fullness of that experience. Speak and feel and think and see. There's plenty of people around me that are like me, and they're going to start gravitating towards me. As I get rid of what's bad, as I get rid of what is a negative influence against the livelihood and well being of my spirit, good things, good people, good resources are going to flow in and take that place because you've taken a stand and you have actually lived in that present moment with intention of making that stand and with the intention of just manifesting these things to you, these people to you, because you do have a choice. If every instant is a mini lifetime, a ripple in the ocean that manifests as experience itself, the one thing that you choose to do to make the balance right between spirit and social, it is going to ripple out into the rest of your existence and give you more resources, more people, more choices. Somewhere in there is going to come what you least expect. And it says, this goes to, don't start a fight. It's not about starting a fight. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Matthew 5:9. And I also was drawn to the image of all the gold, and that the image that was brought to mind with the high priest, which was that of them building that golden fatted calf. This also can be a call. This also can be something about keeping up with the Joneses. I want you to look at how simplistic the images are there. There's no great wealth there. What is there is joy. It's not about wealth. Even their clothes look squishy, like you want to hug them. Right? It's joy. It's something that feeds spirit. When you have culture so seeking what is 3D in opposition to feeding the spirit, then the balance becomes off. Even the balance of, well, you don't look like your neighbors, you don't have fancy things, you don't this or that. We're called to be peacemakers. We're not called to be that all the time. And Aaron did not look like this when they built the golden calf. And maybe by the time he looked like that, they were having their own problems. Who can say? It was a time of kings and queens and kingdoms. But it's okay if your world looks more like on this card. It's okay if things look more like this. And it's okay if what you're giving up that is this or this is, it's your hookup into the fancy people community. It's your hookup into, the street that everybody wants to live on. It's okay if you're in the country. It's okay if you're in a trailer. It's okay if the simpleness of the trees makes you happy. That is absolutely okay. And you don't have those standards to live up to. That is a cultural thing. It's not an item of spirit. It is not something that is required. You are required to let go with God's flow. You're required to keep in your mind the good things that God is going to manifest for you, because that's the way that He's taught you always in the Bible, is that you are to believe it as though it's already happened. So we understand this abundance mindset. That's not a problem. It's right there. We're taught to do that. We're taught to flow with the Lord, to not push back against Him, and to manifest that which He has in store for us already, has already planned for us. And what that's going to equal is this: a right exchange of monetary things, a right exchange of ideas, a union that's going to benefit everybody, and not just everybody benefits, not just those two people, not just the people in your group of six, or whatever it may be, but everybody benefits. We understand that, maybe utopia is not possible, but when all humans give up on right exchange, when all humans give up on a right exchange that is a positive for kingdoms, not just one person, then we have a problem. It's not about utopia, it's about everybody in their own being true to spirit, being true to keeping a balance between social and spirit, and not letting things that we know are wrong in our hearts run all over us and our relationship with spirit, to the point that we feel broken away from spirit, because we value those things above it. We value those things like a golden calf, or even in our social and cultural structure, we value those things more than the golden calf, or as much as like the golden calf. A golden a golden fatted idol that has been put in power. We maybe value that more because we think we'll get something from it. We think we'll get the approval of these people. We think they'll like us better if we just keep our mouths shut and just don't say anything about anything that seems rather ungodly. We really wanted this. We want this King of Cups, so we'll just keep our mouths shut while they just say things that are ungodly, and think that that's not going to fly all over us. It's going to fly all over us in an individual sense, and it's going to fly all over humanity and destroy the church of God if we do not stand up for what is right. We will destroy what was built when they destroyed the fatted calf. So it's a deep message. So there was one thing I wanted to do. I want to know the spirit in which we need to hear this reading, because I know that's hard, y'all. I know that's hard. So I don't get any breaks over here, man. Sense of thought. So we have our sense of thought that we need to use in this situation. I have these spirit and senses cards that kind of give you an orientation of what do you need to lean into to process this message properly. And that is your sense of thought, that God gave you a mind. He gave you a sense of thought. He gave you the possibility of going, well, what if this was me? What if I was in that situation? Do I really agree with these actions? Do I agree with what my friends just said? Do I agree with it? Am I feeling a sense of dis-ease inside myself? A sense of thought is what's going to bring you through this to a place where you know what you think, because that's kind of a hard one sometimes. All right, have a good day, guys. We'll try this again next time. We'll try to be happy or something. Bye.